Let's go over all of the data around AMC stock that you need to know as an investor in AMC, but also why this upcoming week could also be a very big week. And this comes down to the technicals, what happened over the last week of trading with AMC, also the peer data and what is going on with this whole ape share situation. So we have a lot to talk about. The work is cut out for us here in this video. Let's get straight to it. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already, because why? It has not seen inflation. It is still free 99 to do both of those things and to help out the community behind AMC stock, to give them this reliable information that, quite honestly, I mean, it's kind of hard to come by sometimes. Now, let's get into exactly what's going on a technical basis with AMC. So AMC did close regular trading at $24.44 per share, down about 4% on Friday. In after hours, down about 1.06%. Now, if you look at this on a daily candlestick chart, you can see from August 5th until the close today, or Friday, not today, Friday, AMC stock is up 47% since August 5th. So it has been a very upward trajectory for AMC stock. If you go back to the lows, AMC is up well over 100%. That low being $9.70 per share. Now, I actually drew this trend line on the 15-minute candlestick chart, but if you look at this trend line as of right now on the daily candlestick chart, you are still above that trend. You actually did close well above the trend. The low of the day was right on the trend line, as was the low of the day back here on August 10th when the stock did fall. It was like 8.5%, almost 9% in the beginning of trading, and then ultimately did recover by the end of the day. So you are following this trend line. And if you pull up the 15-minute candlestick chart, it's clear to see that AMC very, very bullish as of right now. And why I think this looks even more bullish, and keep in mind, we did actually come up above $27 per share, got some resistance. That was during the first 15 minutes of trading on Friday, fell down, hit that 100-day moving average, went back up above the 50, fell back under the 100, went to the 200-day moving average, and you did hold that. Why is the 200-day moving average so important in my personal opinion? Well, the 200-day moving average shows long-term trend, and the long-term trend with AMC stock is very, very bullish. We have not been in a long-term upward trajectory, aka AMC stock, above the 200-day moving average since we were back here in late November. I believe December 1st was the last day. Intraday, we were above the 200-day moving average, and the last day that we were closed above the 200-day moving average was back here November 30th of 2021. And November doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but guys, we're almost in September. This is approaching 1 year that you were under the 200-day moving average. And last time we rallied, you peaked out and found a lot of resistance around $33, $34 per share. And you guys can see this 200-day moving average, which is this teal line. We got rejected very strongly once we hit that. Well, what has happened now? Well, you've closed above the 200-day moving average 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. And you are still following this bullish trend that we have set ever since the day after earnings. So when you boil those two factors down and put them together, it looks like AMC stock is on a very bullish trajectory. We have not really seen one of those like big breakout days, if that makes sense, right? Back here in March, you got a lot of days, 5 to 10% gainers just strung together, and then you ended up getting the last day of this rally, which was a 45% gain. Now, one would say that we seen that big day, which was the day after earnings. AMC stock rallied 18.87%, but what's different about this time around and the March rally that we did see was this big day was the last day of the rally, right? You only went up 0.38% the day after that, got halted. We were up like 30% at one point. You guys probably remember that day, as I do very, very vividly. It destroyed a lot of people's call options. Well, what's happened this time around? You got that big 18% day, but we have continued on the same trajectory. And even from the peak of that day, you're still up over $2.50 per share since the peak of that 18.87% day, the day after earnings. So when you look at both of these latest rallies that we have seen, really the only rallies in 2022, well, it's clear to see that this one, I think, holds a lot more strength. And even when you put it into context with this whole ape share situation, which as of recording of August 22nd, those shareholders will receive the ape share. And what's going on right now is hedge funds, they don't want to expose their synthetic shares. They don't want to expose how many shares are out there that are not supposed to be out there. So what's actually happening, in my personal opinion, is you are seeing some hedge funds buying into AMC stock, and you are seeing the trading algorithms that are really our friend now. And that's what this comes down to. These trend lines, these moving averages, the fact that you bounce right off of the 200-day moving average, like down to the penny, that's not retail investors going out and buying the stock. That is algorithms. That's why I made a video a couple of videos ago about the algorithms are bullish on AMC. The algo is in charge, and that's what is really going on here. So when the algorithm is bullish and showing signs of being this bullish, it's simply put something I would not want to bet against. I would not want to bet against AMC stock going much higher from here. I wouldn't want to sell cover calls at this moment in time. After you get, let's call it a 50 to 100% rally in a day, that's maybe a good period to take some profits on calls, or maybe sell some covered calls, or we just go straight into the MOAS at that point. There's really the two different ways this plays out, in my personal opinion. My personal opinion, you get that big day, and then possibly we see what happened after the March rally. But we're still in for that big day, that 40, 50 to 100% day, if not more. And let's just be honest, 100% from here is going to put us in that $50 range. So it wouldn't be anything to sneeze at. And then you get that sell-off, or it just continues from there and it starts to compound and you start to get the MOAS. Those are either the two ways I see this playing out. My prediction was end of the summer, beginning of fall MOAS, and I think that's starting to come to fruition. If we just look out, October would be where my cursor is right now. November would be where my cursor is right now, and you could see how this rally, you might see a consolidation effect. You might see us go to 35, consolidate out around possibly 30. That's kind of what I expect to happen to a certain degree. And then you could see, give it another month or two on top of that, and you could be firmly in the MOAS, and that's when you could start to see some of those big candles like what we seen back in June. So when you put all these factors together, I am very, very bullish on what I'm seeing currently with AMC stock. Now, the short interest, the dollar amount that is currently sold short, and this is because AMC shares have went up in value, is currently sitting at $2.39 billion. So hedge funds, they're losing a lot of money on their short positions. This went from about 1.4 billion to 2.39 billion, and the only difference is the share price has went up. So shorts have lost over $1 billion with this last rally in AMC stock. Now, the estimated short interest of free float is 18.22%. Free float out on loan, 27.2%. Shares out on loan, 140.18 million. Days to cover sitting at 2.99. The cost to borrow sitting at 8.83% and 100% share utilization. We are seeing the cost to borrow max at 12.23%. Cost to borrow minimum at 7.26%, and cost to borrow average at 8.95%. So these numbers are looking good as well. And specifically on the days where AMC stock moves a lot and is very volatile, like August 5th, the day the stock was down 8.5%, 9%, and then rallied to close a positive, 5.5%. That's when the cost to borrow rallied to over 70%, and it stayed like that for a good 12 hours. That's because the volatility, you are saying the more volatility up and down, the higher that cost to borrow max is likely to be, because people just don't know. They start to expect a bigger move that is to come, kind of around earnings. When you have earnings for companies, the cost to borrows tend to jump up because it could move a lot in one direction or the other, or possibly in both directions. Now, if you look at the option activity on Friday, you had 151 orders totaling $17.64 million, positive order value of 81%. That is very, very bullish. That is a lot of orders relative to what we are used to seeing on AMC. You could be looking at 5 to 20 orders, not 151. And $17.64 million, it's not that big compared to what we have seen in the past, but as of recent history, as of the last 6 months or so with AMC, since that March rally, you haven't seen anything like this, and a lot of it is directionally bullish on AMC stock. And if we do go out to further out expirations, we'll go out to something like September 16th, the next big really option expiration. August 19th is going to be a big one as well, but September 16th is probably going to be bigger than that. You could see the calls for the open interest is 67.17% of all the option activity is calls, 32.83% is puts. And if we go out to September 16th, you do have about a 50-50 ratio. We still do have some time left on this to see how it does plan out, and that's something I will be paying very close attention to. So that's pretty much going to be all for this video with the ape share situation. Like I previously said just a few minutes ago, it's probably going to continue to cause some bullish activity at least until August 22nd, and possibly a couple trading days after that, as well, as people are really trying to get rid of some of those synthetic positions. They don't want those exposed. So I think that will constitute a lot of continued buying for AMC stock. So that's going to be all for this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Make sure you guys enjoy your weekends, and I will see you in the next one.